Once upon a time, there lived a young man named James. James was born in a small town named Nnewi in the eastern part of Nigeria. He was brought up by his mother, Nneka, as he had lost his father at a tender age of 5. Nneka spent all she had to make sure her son went to the best schools. She single-handedly, with little to no help from family, trained James in school from primary school to the university level. James did his youth service in the bustling city of Lagos, and because he was so good at his job, he was retained by the company. This job changed their lives for good. They stopped living in poverty, as James was earning more than enough to take care of himself and his mother. He built a house for his mother in the village and bought her a car. He also built a house for himself in the city as well. He was doing good and fine as a bachelor in his 30s. He worked his way up in the company, so he had a thriving career. As expected, his mother wanted him to bring a young lady home and get married. But James always told his mother that he has not found a good woman yet, because almost all the women in the city are after money. One year, during Christmas, James decided to visit the village and spend time with his mom during the festive season. Nneka was so happy when her son told her he was visiting the village. She made all his favorite meals in preparation for his coming. As it was the festive period, so many people came home to visit their loved ones. Nneka had a friend named Enkay. They were very good friends. Enkay had a very beautiful daughter named Adaora. Not only was Adaora beautiful, she was respectful and kind. Adaora had just finished university and her youth service corps, but she had found a job, a well-paying job in Port Harcourt as a civil engineer. So she decided to come home to the village and visit her mom before she moves to Port Harcourt. Adaora too had no father. Her father had died also at a very young age, but she had very supportive uncles that made sure she went to the best schools. When Nneka heard that James was coming home, she asked her friend Enkay what she felt about matchmaking James and Adaora. Enkay liked the idea, not only because she too wanted Adaora to get married, but also because she knows James was a well-brought-up man. When James got to the village, his mother was so happy to see him. She danced around him and gave him a tight hug. She ushered him into the house and served him food. James ate until he was very full because he can't remember the last time he had a good homemade meal. And as Nneka and Enkay as planned, when it got to the evening of that day, Enkay and Adaora brought gift for James. Nneka just told James that her friend Enkay was eager to see him after so many years. She never told James that she was coming with Adaora. James knew Adaora while growing up, but because she was a girl and younger than him, they weren't very close. When James was off to the university, Adaora was still in her junior secondary school. So when James saw Adaora with Auntie Enkay, like he fondly calls her, he was mesmerized by her beauty. He thought he had seen the most beautiful woman with the most beautiful smile. When Enkay and Nneka saw James' reaction to Adaora, they were so happy because their plans had worked. There and then, James and Adaora got talking and started knowing each other better. James was impressed to know she had the first class in civil engineering and she had got a job immediately after her youth service. Adaora also liked the fact that he is a well-established young man. When Adaora and her mother were ready to leave that night, James made sure to get her number. They said their goodbyes, but their conversation continued over the phone. James called her when she got home and they talked into the night. From right there, their feelings for each other grew strong. James, who was supposed to spend 3 days in the village, ended up spending a week, and even so, he was still reluctant to leave. They spent so much time together and visited so many places. Nneka and Nkechi were very happy at how their plan worked out, and they left the children to bond. When James was leaving, he promised to keep in touch and visit Adaora in Port Harcourt because she too was leaving for Port Harcourt a week later. After a month of Adaora being in Port Harcourt and being in constant communication with James, he came to visit Adaora. There, they went on their first date and became official. They dated for a year before James proposed to Adaora. Everyone was so happy for the bride and groom to be, especially their mothers. Before they knew it, wedding preparations had begun, and in no time they were married. Adaora had to quit her job in Port Harcourt to move to Lagos with her husband, hoping to get a new job. After all, Lagos is said to be the land of opportunities. If you have watched up to this point, please click the like button and subscribe. On the day they got home, James jokingly said to Adaora, "You will be paying 40% of the bills in this house. After all, you are a civil engineer." Adaora thought this was funny and they laughed about it. After about a week in Lagos, James asked his wife if she had started looking for a job yet. Adaora was confused and she asked James what the rush was about. Then James told her that she had to start contributing her quota to the family. Then Adaora told him there was still no reason to rush because she just got here. But Adaora started searching for jobs anyway. After a month in marriage, Adaora got pregnant. Her husband was so happy when she told him. They jubilated and called their mothers, who were so happy for them. From that moment on, Adaora started vomiting around the house. She is always too weak because she is always vomiting all she eats. When she got to the doctor and complained about this, the doctor told her she was unfortunately part of the women that get morning sickness all day. When Adaora got home, instead of her husband to ask how the doctor's appointment went, what he said was, "How is the job search going? Has any of the companies called you yet?" Adaora was so annoyed and said, "James, I went for doctor's appointment today, and instead of you to ask me how we are doing, this is what you say?" Then James said, "Are you the first woman to get pregnant? Why are you talking as if it is a new thing? See, better get a job, oh. I can't be carrying the responsibility of 2 people with only my salary. Put that first class of yours to good use." Then he went inside. Adaora was just staring after him, shocked, and was wondering what went wrong and why the sudden change in her husband. When James came down for dinner, he apologized for his behavior and said he just wanted her to get a good job to help with the family finances. Some weeks later, James came home from work to meet Adaora sleeping in the bedroom. He angrily woke her up and said, "Is this all you do at home? Sleep, eat, and do nothing. Your mates are out there helping their husband take care of the family, yet you are here sleeping away your life. Why have you to get a job yet? Put yourself to good use." Then Adaora answered him and said, "That's because I have stopped applying for jobs. It is only reasonable seeing I can't do anything all day. Because of this baby, I am always weak. Why would anyone employ me when I'm always sleeping at work?" Then James said, "When you give birth to that Messiah in your womb, I will know what your excuses will be then." Then he angrily went off. Adaora sat there crying helplessly. This behavior continued for months. James became harsh towards his wife because she wasn't working. Amidst all of this, she never reported him to Nkechi or Nneka, which are their parents. Things got so bad that her blood pressure went up, and the doctors put her on complete bed rest to prevent her from losing the baby. When Nneka, James' mother, heard this, she came to stay with them in the city. At this point, Adaora was 7 months pregnant. This was when she noticed her son's behavior. She first reprimanded Adaora and asked why she never said anything to her. Then she dealt with her son thoroughly and made sure he changed for the better. James behaved himself while his mother was there, and until Adaora gave birth. Adaora gave birth to a bouncing baby boy. They named him Williams. Nkechi, which is Adora's mother, came from the village to see the baby, and everybody was happy and rejoiced with them. When the baby was 4 weeks old, Nkechi and Nneka went back to the village because of their businesses. Immediately they left, James told his wife, "Now that you have given birth, start looking for jobs since there is nothing stopping you anymore." Adaora didn't want to argue, so she told him, "Okay." After a month of searching for jobs, she got a job with an international company. They were going to be paying her $160,000 per year, but the company was in Port Harcourt. Adaora was very reluctant to go because she didn't want a long-distance marriage and didn't want to leave her son Williams. When she told James about the job, the first thing he asked was about the pay. When he heard the amount, all he said was that she was going to take that job. Adaora told him about her concerns, but he wasn't listening. He said, "Why would you want to turn down such a juicy offer? Do you know how much $160,000 is? We will get a nanny for Williams. You don't have to worry about that. And also, we have been in a long-distance relationship before. That is not new. You'll be coming home every weekend." James made sure she had no choice but to take that job. Adaora reluctantly agreed to the arrangement and took the job. They got a nanny for Williams, and when everything was put in place, she traveled down to Port Harcourt to start her new job. For about a month, Adaora comes home every weekend to her family in Lagos. Everything was going according to plan. But along the line, she had to start coming home twice a month because of the workload. But James did not care as long as she was supporting the family. During the 3rd month at work, Adaora came home to visit one weekend and noticed her son was sick. She asked the nanny why she wasn't informed, but the nanny said it was just malaria and he had been taken to the hospital. She told the nanny that she should be informed always if anything is wrong, no matter the circumstances. By the time she was ready to go back to work, her son was healthy again. But that wasn't the end of it. William started falling sick more frequently and spent more time in the hospital. Adaora got worried that she started coming home every weekend, despite the workload. During one of her trips home, the pastor of their church came to her house and asked them why they haven't been to church for a long time. James said it was due to the workload. Then the pastor prayed for them, and after he finished praying, he told them, "As I was praying for you, I saw a revelation. I can see darkness hovering about this house. I want you guys to do a 3-day fasting and praying program." James and Adaora said okay. But as soon as the pastor left, James said to his wife, "I am sure he said all of that to get us to start coming to church again. I'm a busy man, please. I don't have time for all of this." This discouraged Adaora that she too did fast and pray like the pastor instructed. 2 months later, James called Adaora to start hurrying down to Lagos as Williams was critically sick and has been rushed down to the hospital. Adaora took the next available flight down to Lagos after she had told her boss about her family emergency. When Adaora got to the hospital, she was told Williams had passed away. Adaora could not believe her ears and fainted immediately. What happened to Williams? What killed him? How did he die? What would happen to Adaora and James' marriage after their son's death? Find out about all of this in the part 2 of this suspense-filled story. Like this video, comment your thoughts in the comment section below, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. This will help YouTube to push out my videos to other people to see more and more. And until the next time I see you guys, bye for now. Thank you for watching and love you.